In this little tutorial is a continuation of vertical alignment. First thing I want to do is bring over my notes and just go over them really quickly. There's a lot more additional options with vertical align and CSS. A lot of it has to do with inline elements. Let's go overhead and see what we got here. So complete listing here. First is vertical align soup, vertical align sub. I can also use percentages, top versus text top. Generally that means the parent element or sometimes the top of the, rather than lines up with the baseline, it lines up with the top of the letter T or the top of the letter K. There's bottom, text bottom. When it comes to images, for the most part, really for practical purposes, it'll be little or no difference. The only thing I want to talk about is that some of my kids were playing around. Hey man, text alignment. When it comes to photos, sometimes these vertical alignments do different things than you would think. And so I just want to show you what happens. Okay, if I do, and percents doesn't even work with images. So if you want to put a percent, you're not going to get anything. What's going to happen is if I do a vertical line of 10 pixels, what happens is the text will show up 10 pixels below the image. Now if I have normal inline text, it will be 10 pixels above, like you would think. Same also with vertical alignment, negative 25 pixels. That means it's going to show up 25 pixels above the bottom of the image rather than 25 pixels below. It's a little minor thing, but number one, I want to review all the options with it and then just show you how it works with in HTML. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I've done is I've got my top, I've got my vertical alignment, I've gone ahead and put 10 pixels, I've gone ahead and left my margin here. So there you go, vertical alignment, 10 pixels. What do we get? Control S, refresh my web page, and then you'll see it shows up a little 10 pixels below the image. Next one I want to talk about is negative percents. Again, this is something unusual. I am not sure if it's specific to this version of Explorer or it's something that's from Chrome and the other browsers as well. Let's go with another one. The other one is that's great. Not positive. How about if I do negative? Negative 25 pixels, not 200, 210, 250. Let's just make it 25. Okay. Control S, refresh, and then here's my notes, and then refresh. There you go. Now you're going to see it shows up 25 pixels above the bottom of the image. Okay. Now, if you're dealing with inline elements like text, this is it's standard stuff. So it does what you expect. Images, it sometimes does flaky things. I'll just show you here really quickly. A lot of times I use them as I'll use a span here. I'm going to use an ID, EX example. Background. It's just background is whatever, yellow. Okay, just to make it stand out, and then we'll do vertical. Let's do vertical dot align. We'll do 10 pixels, or we'll use the same one, 10 pixels. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the span command because I'm going to use. Here's my text. Forget about photos for now. Delete all those photos. Now I'm going to do span. So what's the difference between a span and a div? A div is a block element, therefore it goes across the entire web page. A span is an inline element. It allows me just to display whatever's in my span and continue on with the code. So span, I'm going to do an ID is equal to EX. I need that being quotes. ID equal to EX, and then whatever. This is my test text. There you go. And then slash span. Control S, and then refresh. Oops, those are my notes. Toss them to the side. Good enough, and then refresh. Now, because we're talking inline elements, it does what we expect it to be. Hey, man, text align 10 pixels. Okay, it's 10 pixels from that baseline. Now let's go ahead and play around with the other one. Hey, Korea, I want it to be not 10. I want it to be negative. negative, well, I think I would do it 25. Oops, not 225, so negative 25. Okay, so then Control S, refresh, and there you go. And then there you go. My text now is aligned 25 pixels below the baseline of the other text, the other inline elements. So a lot of these things, like text and text tops, bottom, the text bottom, really has to do with inline elements. If we do it with images, again, we get unpredictable results. It seems predictable, but I'm not sure if it applies from one version of Explorer to another. Again, I think as we get to Flexbox, some of these issues get resolved in the next version of Explorer. Anyway, some advanced elements with inline elements and vertical line.